The Adams National Historic Park, located in Quincy, Massachusetts, was founded by one of the Adams family historians, Brooke Adams, to continue the family mandate to promote civic virtue and patriotism amongst future generations of Americans. The park contains the House of Peacefield, now affectionately known as the Old House of Peacefield, which was bought by John Adams in 1788 after his return from serving as a diplomat and a minister plenipotentiary abroad. He lived there with his wife, Abigail Adams, who played the role of patriot on the home front whenever John was away during the Revolutionary War. The stone library was constructed at the request of John Quincy Adams and is home to more than 14,000 volumes and books. Just 4 miles away is the birthplace of John Adams himself, the second president of the nation. The birthplace of his eldest son and the nation's sixth president, John Quincy Adams, is right next door. This little cottage is also where John Adams, along with James Bodine and Sam Adams, would draft the Massachusetts State Constitution. This Constitution would not only shape Massachusetts, but would also be at the forefront in the abolition of slavery. Its content and structure would be emulated by the United States Constitution. It's said by the president of the American Historical Association, "If I were called upon to select a single fact or enterprise which more nearly than any other single thing embraced the significance of the American Revolution, I should choose the formation of the Massachusetts Constitution of 1780. When John Adams helped draft the Constitution of Massachusetts in 1779, he envisioned the Constitution would be structured into chapters and sections and articles, as opposed to a list of provisions like other existing constitutions. And he had a firm belief in how the government itself should be structured. He attributed the ongoing collapse of the British Empire in America to the lack of a popular vote and involvement of citizens in their own political affairs. He made his views on government and structure public in a pamphlet titled Thoughts on Government in 1776. This pamphlet would heavily influence the structure of governments in other colonies, as well as the drafting of their constitutions. He believed that a stable and democratic government required the consent of the governed and the separation of powers among the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. John Adams advocated a bicameral legislature because he believed that the upper house, consisting of substantial property owners, would check the power of popular majorities in the lower house. The legislature would be split into the Senate and House of Representatives, each to have a negative impact on the other. The Senate would represent the counties, and the House of Representatives would represent the towns. An independent judiciary would balance the executive and legislative branches. A life term would ensure that judges would not make biased rulings that lean towards popular opinion in order to keep their positions. To complete the balance of power, the executive branch would consist of a governor that was elected by all of the people. A Declaration of Rights was also included in the state constitution. John Adams is credited with writing the first article, which would be a major factor in abolishing slavery in the state. The article stated, "All men are born free and equal, and have certain natural, essential, and inalienable rights, among which may be reckoned the right of enjoying and defending their lives and liberties, that of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, in fine, that of seeking and obtaining their safety and happiness." In the 1781 Berkshire County case of Brom and Bett versus Ashley, Brom and Bett would sue for their freedom, saying that the first article outlawed slavery. They would be rewarded with their freedom and a sum of money for the damages. A slave by the name of Quock Walker would also sue for his freedom in 1781, using the same article, claiming that he was falsely imprisoned. Not only was he rewarded with his freedom, his owner would also be charged and found guilty for battery and assault. In this manner, slavery lost any and all legal protection in Massachusetts, and this would result in the abolishment of slavery in the state. From the two small cottages that would turn out two great American presidents, to the old house at Peacefield, which served as a home, is the greatness of John Adams grew. The Adams National Historical Park is a story of heroes, statesmen, philosophers, and learned women. John Adams' ideas would not only shape the colony of Massachusetts, but would transform 13 colonies into one United Nation. John Adams' story is not just a story of Essex County, nor is it just a story of Massachusetts, but is a story of a great American vision. From the abolition of slavery to the creation of a bicameral legislature with checks and balances, the John Adams estate was a birthplace of the American dream.